Lower the trigger into the assembly. Tilt the trigger forward, add the trigger spring into the hole in the back of the trigger, and then lower it into the trigger housing. Before adding the disconnector into the assembly, rotate the sear all the way forward. Tilt the front step of the disconnector under the sear. Make sure that the disconnector seats on the bent leg of the disconnector spring as the disconnector is lowered into position. Align the stud on the disconnector with the hole in the top of the trigger. Lower the trigger into position and push the trigger pin fully into the trigger housing. Add the hammer pin and hammer to the trigger housing. With the hammer in its fully forward position, add the mainspring guide through the back of the trigger assembly and locate it onto the crosspin in the back of the hammer. Seat the mainspring plunger onto the mainspring guide. Add the hammer spring to the mainspring plunger. Slightly compress the hammer spring as the mainspring retention pin is inserted into the trigger housing. Slightly compress the trigger housing pin retaining spring as it is inserted into the trigger housing. This concludes the assembly of the trigger mechanism for the Mossberg Maverick 88.